Good morning, students. Geography, Chapter 7, Lifelines of National Economy is going on. Today, we will discuss about the topic 4, that is railways. In last 3 videos, we have discussed about the roadways. Now, we will discuss in detail related to the railways. All you are aware that Indian Railway is the largest पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग इन द कंट्री. जितनी भी हमारी कंट्री के अंदर पब्लिक इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, पब्लिक सेक्टर इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स हैं, उनमें सबसे बड़ा जो सेक्टर है वो इंडियन रेलवेज है. एंड यू ऑल्सो नो दैट द फर्स्ट ट्रेन वॉज स्टीम्ड ऑफ फ्रॉम मुंबई टू थाने इन इंडिया इन 1853. First train was steamed off in 1853 and its distance the travel from Mumbai to Thane, and the total distance was covered by this train was 34 kilometer. So today, first of all, we will discuss about the importance of Indian Railways. It is the principal mode of transportation for freight and passengers. Freight means goods. So to transport the goods and passengers in our country, the principal mode of transportation is the Indian Railways. It conduct the multifarious activities. The Indian Railways are used for conduct the different types of activities like business, sightseeing, pilgrimage, along with the transportation of goods over the longer distance. For these activities, we prefer the Indian Railways. Now, it also acts as a great integrating force for more than 150 years. In 1853, first train was steamed off, and now we are in 2020. So more than 150 years. Successfully trains are functioning in our country from when we were not having no means of transport, other means of transportation, then for one state to another state. From that time, the Indian Railways was only the available means of transport, available means to transport the freight and passengers from one state to another state. So it is acting as the integrating force in our country. It also binds the economic life of the country because we also transport the raw material, fuels, petrol, diesel, coal, and different product goods of the industries. We transport with the help of Indian Railways from one area to another area. So it binds the economic life. It also escalates the development of industries. So it's a consequently it helps the in the development of industry as well as agriculture, because we also transport the agriculture products through the railways, and we also in the railways also help in the transportation of the fertilizers, pesticides, and insecticides, etc. So that's why we prefer the Indian Railways. The Indian Railways are very important for us. Next, now Indian Railways network. According to the March 2004, total stations were 7,031 in our country. The data may be vary in other books, the new edition books. So in March 2017, total stations in India were 7,349. As the data of 31st March 2004, the route length is about 63,221. In March 2017, total route length is 67,368 km. And 2019 it is about 1,23,236 km. About locomotives, trains are about 7,887 in 2004. and 2019 12,147. Passenger vehicles were in 2004 5,321 and in 2019 13,452. Other coaches vehicles were 4,904 in March 2004 and wagons were 2,28,170 and about the March 2019 they are about 2,89,185. So total zones, earlier Indian Railways were divided into 16 zones, now they are divided into 18 zones. So distribution pattern of the railway network, we see that in some areas railway network are dense, in other area railway network are less. So distribution pattern of railway network in India vary from one place to another place. It is influenced by mainly three factors: physiographic factors, economic factors and administrative factors. More railway network, mainly the dense railway networks in India are found mainly in the northern plains. There are three regions why the northern plains are having dense railway networks. First, vast level land. Northern plain land is flat land. There high population density, so it means more economic chances are opportunities are there in these areas, and rich agriculture resources, the fertile soil is found in these areas, so rich agricultural resources are grown in the northern plain. That's why railway network are dense in the northern plains. There is only one problem which is faced by the northern plains in the construction of railway, that is we have to construct the bridges across the river, because there are so many large rivers flow through the northern plain like Ganga, Yamuna, etc. Over these bridges, the construction of bridge is a very big challenge. It provides obstacles in the constructions of the railways. So this is the area where the railway network is dense. Now we will discuss about the areas where the railway network is are very unfavorable area regions. Northern plain is the favorable region for the construction of railways. Now we will discuss about the unfavorable regions for the construction of the railways, or we can say the area where the railway networks are very less. First is Himalaya mountain region. Why the railway network are less in these areas? First, because of high reliefs, high altitude areas, low population, suppressed population means less population density, and lack of economic opportunities also. That's why railway networks are less, or these regions are unfavorable for the construction of railways. Western Rajasthan is also not favorable for the construction of railways because there is a sandy plain. चारों तरफ रेत होता है, इसमें इतना आसान नहीं होता है रेलवे ट्रैक ले डाउन करना. गुजरात इन समय एरिया, गुजरात के जो स्वैम्पी मार्श एरियाज हैं, दलदल कीचड़ के जो इलाके हैं, इन सच एरियाज द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ रेलवेज इज नॉट इजी. इन द फॉरेस्टेड एरियाज, मध्य प्रदेश, उड़ीसा, झारखंड, छत्तीसगढ़ जो मध्य हमारे फॉरेस्ट एरियाज, इन डेंस फॉरेस्ट एरियाज के अंदर फॉरेस्टेड ट्रैक्स बनाना, कंस्ट्रक्ट करना नॉट फेवरेबल. Along the west coast also, in the Arabian Sea, in these areas, Syadri range, sinking of tracks, because in areas के अंदर ट्रैक बहुत जल्दी सिंक हो जाते हैं, frequently landslides होते रहते हैं. That's why in these areas also not favorable for the construction of railways. Now we will discuss about the hilly terrain of the peninsular regions. Peninsular regions of the central India also not suitable for the construction of railway because of low hills, gaps and tunnels, and problems faced by Indian railways. Mainly passengers travel without ticket. It is a big economic loss to the Indian railways. Theft and damaging still not completely stop Indian railways. Some people theft and damage the property of Indian railways, and some people stop the train without any proper reason by pulling the chain. It caused a technical or other types of problems to the Indian Railways. Still, we have to tackle these problems because it is the primary means of transportation. So, if we want to develop the Indian Railways, so we have to tackle these obstacles or problems. That's all for today.